I've learned a lot since my first video of BigBlueButton. So this video is kind of a correction on some of the errors I made in the previous video and some new things that I've learned. Okay, so I'm on Sakai and I'm going here to the Meetings tab. And so just to correct, so last video I said when you click on Meetings, the first thing it'll show you is this Permissions tab. And so you can see here, mine says Access and Maintenance. I've got these two options because this is a project site. You can also have the option of lecturer, demonstrator, there's another word for it, and student. That means it's a course site, but it kind of works the same. So maintenance means I'm in charge of the site. I can also give this to my demis or other lecturers. I can give them permission here, and then students will have the access side of things. So I've made sure they can edit their own meetings and delete their own meetings, but they can't edit or delete any meeting because I don't want them to go delete my meetings. And in the last video I said that it sticks on the screen forever when you click save, and it doesn't go away until like a day later. It turns out it does actually give you permission very quickly. You just need to refresh the screen. So you're either going to refresh up here or click on the Meetings tab, and it'll take you back to a screen like this. Okay, so these are several meetings that we've had so far in this group. So I'm just going to create a test meeting. And so I think in the last video I said you should click on recording and group session. Something I didn't pay attention to was this click here which says wait for moderator. I now untick it because students can then go into the meeting before I'm there. I think the reason for this is I'm always late for meetings, so I feel bad when I join late, so I take it off and then students can get in there. Otherwise, if this is ticked, everyone can only join once you join. Okay, I think I spoke last time about adding different participants. You can also select a join and a close time. I always put my open time about 10 minutes before the class is going to start, just for the students who'd like to be early. And notify participants. I'm not going to notify participants because I actually just want myself in this meeting. So I'm going to click off everybody here so people don't get confused. So I'm going to click save, and the meeting comes up here. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click join. So at this point now, people wouldn't be able to join. It would probably say like waiting for moderators. Whereas if you untick that button about waiting for moderator, then anyone can come in here. And it does an echo test. It can take a bit of time depending on how slow Sakai is. And
you are currently the only person in this conference.
Okay, so if you want to share your screen, you can go actions. I tried before upload a presentation, it didn't go particularly well. So I don't upload presentations directly. I think I couldn't figure out how to access it later. So what you do is you go down here to share a screen, you click on it, and you either share your entire screen, application window, or Opera tab. Which is my internet browser. I'm always nervous about doing application window because what happens if I'm sharing a PowerPoint and then suddenly I want to jump over to a YouTube video and then you've got to unshare and move over. So I always click on share entire screen, but you'll see now it gets a bit complicated. So okay, I do this and I click on it and I go share. And it'll start sharing my screen. But the problem now, as you can see, because it's sharing what's currently on my screen, it shares it a bajillion times going to infinity. But anyway, so this is my screen here. I'm not sure if you can annotate stuff directly on what you are sharing. I assume what you'd have to do is if you were going to annotate, you would actually have to have your PowerPoint open and then try annotate in the PowerPoint. So one problem then about this and not having two screens is I honestly can't see if the students are typing anything in the chat if I've got my PowerPoint open. So that is the only thing. I think if you go to slideshow on PowerPoint, I don't know if you can, I always get confused about this. Someone told me, no, somewhere you click and then you can get at least a laser pointer. So I don't know if you can get annotations. So if you can't, oh, there you are. So I right clicked on the screen. Yeah, so you can use a highlighter in color. Oh, pen. So I suppose you could go here and draw something for the student. So reminder, what I've done here is I'm not currently in BlueButton. In BlueButton, BigBlueButton, I've shared my screen, and I've now gone over to the PowerPoint app, or the PowerPoint software, and made it full screen. I right click and I go here to pointer options and pen. And you could annotate a PowerPoint that you may be working through. And then you need to choose to keep it or discard it. One thing you can do, which is quite nice in BigBlueButton, is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And students are currently seeing this on their screen, I think. So you can see it says slide 1. If I click here and go to next slide, it gives me a blank slide. Now if I go here and turn multi-user whiteboard on, you'll see that when my pointer comes aboard, it says Stephanie Enslin. If there were other people on this call, they could also point their pointer on the board and I could see their names next to it. So you might want to say to the class, I don't know, draw a normal fault, and or get 5 people to draw a normal fault. So I think, so once you've turned this on, you then have to go to the hand tool and choose line or ellipse. I'm going to choose a pencil, and so you ask them to draw a normal fault and to mark the direction of movement on the fault and to put their names there so you know who has drawn what. So I'm going to use the text option. Does it work? I think you have to draw a text box, and I'm going to write there. And I think then you go back to pan. So you could have a competition and say, tell 5 people they've got to draw it, and then they draw it, and then we see who's got the best diagram. So Nonku would have drawn a picture over here, and John would have drawn a picture over here. So because you're on this multi-user whiteboard option, anybody can draw on the screen. And you could go here onto a new screen. So it's a nice way of getting discussion going. You can undo and you can also delete. So those are the new things I've learned. Also taking notes. Maybe you've got an agenda that you want to share with the group. If it's a meeting, you can go to the shared notes and type here and everyone can see it. Because if you type it in the public chat and other people type after you, it's hard to keep on having to scroll up to find it. But I think that's about all that I've learned new from BigBlueButton. Oh, one other thing which I don't think I said on the previous video. If you go to this plus sign and go share an external video, and it says paste a URL. So I can go to YouTube and get a video there. So Earth Rocks is a nice channel. What have they got? Identifying minerals. They've got some great videos here. So I'm going to copy the web address here. I'm going to come into BigBlueButton, I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to go share new video. And students then should be able to watch it on the screen.
Why study minerals?
And this, as far as we can understand, once BigBlueButton is 0 rated again, because it's currently not 0 rated, as far as I know, this then should be a way of watching YouTube videos 0 rated. But I haven't heard feedback from higher up about that, whether that's true or not. So those are the new features I've learned about with BigBlueButton. And then, yeah, you go here and end meeting, and your meeting ends.